It's time to admit Bronny James is not an NBA level player. This might be some elite hate. On the way. Let's lock in.
When you think of father-son duos who were able to make it into the NBA, a few names come to mind. The Curry brothers.
What's the best father-son duo ever? Dell was solid. Steph's a Hall of Famer. Like, is there somebody where, like, the dad's an all-star and the son's an all-star? Michael Thompson was the number one pick. Clay was an all-star. I don't know if Michael Thompson was an all-star, though. Magic, no. I'm trying to think. Who's the best player? Like, who is the best? Yeah, let's just watch. Let me shut up.
Their father Dell, Michael Thompson and Klay Thompson, Doc Rivers and Austin Rivers, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry and Brent Barry, among...
Oh, it's probably Rick Barry and Brent Barry. Brent Barry's a Hall of Famer. Rick Barry was just a decent player. And then there's John Barry, too, right?
Others. Sometimes the father has a better NBA career than their son, and sometimes it's the son who outshines
Gary Payton.
But for a father and son to both make it...
Is it Dell and Steph? I feel like it might be Dell and Steph, because Dell was like a decent role player, and Steph's like probably the highest ranking like son of an NBA player, right? Oh, Sabonis' dad. Sabonis might be the best if you're combining the two, because Sabonis' dad was an all-star, and I believe he's a Hall of Famer. His son's an all-star, but his dad came over to the league late though. And I think he tore his Achilles at the end or something like that.
To the NBA is not only rare, it's even more unlikely for both a father and son to become stars in their respective eras. And we have yet to see some of the greatest players of all time feature a son showing the same skills and talent as their father. Michael Jordan's firstborn son, Jeffrey, could barely make it on a Division I college squad. Magic Johnson and his sons, well, never really had an interest in basketball.
Okay, so this guy's not the type to make jokes in his videos. Okay, I thought there was a Magic Johnson son joke coming, but salute.
Him and his sons never made it to an NBA level, and we've never come across a situation in which a father and son played in the league at the same time. And it's why fans, the media, the league at large can't wait for one of the most anticipated father-son pairings of all time.
Look, even if Bronny isn't great, I still think he has some intangibles to make the league, bro. Like, he's extremely athletic.
Bronny James. There's just one problem. This man is not good enough to be in the NBA, and quite frankly, never really has. For a player that has so much hype surrounding their entrance into the league because of the gravity it would bring to LeBron James and him playing with his son, a player who has had all...
I don't even want to be a hater, though, because Bronny's a solid player. It's just, I don't know. I don't watch enough college to be super educated on it, so I'm gonna take his word with a grain of salt, but regardless of whether Bronny is good enough or not, I think he makes the league, no hate, off the strength of, 1, he's at USC, 2, he has the upside to be a very good defender, and 3, you are LeBron's son. That does help. It does help. Like, we just have to be truthful of the situation. He's LeBron's son, so it will help.
Eyes on him since he was a kid, so much focus and attention, despite the talent he possesses compared to some of the prospects of his class, is actually quite astounding. You often see cases of nepotism in any profession, but this is taking it to the next level. How bad, you might ask? Well, let's talk about it. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, it would mean a great deal to me if you subscribe to help the channel grow, and in return,
I remember watching that game. I watched that one.
Like this. Back in 2002, when LeBron James was first coming onto the scene as one of the greatest high school basketball players scouts had ever seen, with his insane athleticism, speed, ball handling, and the ability to impact the floor in so many ways with his court vision, scoring, and defense, there had never been a player who was as hyped as LeBron James coming out of high school. It's not every day you see a player called the Chosen One or the King or being touted.
It's crazy how hyped Wemby is, though. That Wemby hype hit different. Wemby is crazy, too.
And while the hype, attention, and excitement surrounding LeBron James entering the league was sometimes seen as extreme, he was every bit worth the hype and exceeding expectations for what he would ultimately become as a player.
Was O'Kill number 1 in that video? I think so.
Basketball as a child and started showing early signs of his dad's prowess and skill set, the hype instantly became a focus for scouts despite Bronny being at such a young age. Bronny James started receiving letters of interest and scholarship offers when he was just 10 years old. And from
I wonder where all the kids he played with are now.
He would continue to receive.
Oh, didn't Mikey Williams go to jail
before entering high school? These college programs didn't know how good Bronny would ultimately become, but for a chance to have LeBron James' son at their school would instantly bring viewership and revenue. Bronny would go on to first appear in the high school recruiting rankings top instantly bring viewership and revenue. Bronny would
Oh my God, yep, I knew it.
go on to first appear in the high school recruiting rankings top 100 list in his sophomore year, where ESPN.
If I could tell y'all, I'd tell y'all.
And was considered a top 30 player in the class of 2023. But by the end of his junior season, he quickly fell down the ranks to 52nd. And while Bronny rose the ranks slightly in his senior season, he remained a 4-star recruit throughout his entire high school career. And don't get me wrong,
he's got defensive skills. Is that the Suns?
Yeah. Played high school basketball competitively to be able to get that high in the rankings in the top 100. But for the level of interest, attention, and hype from some of the top college programs, as well as NBA level interest for which team would consider drafting him in 2020.
I just hope he can make the league and have a good career, man. He seems like a nice guy.
Most recruits at that level never receive,
and he's still like a kid,
offers from some of the top programs in the NCAA, and they generally aren't perceived to be one and done.
He has good form too
for the draft after their freshman season. Here's the thing. Bronny is actually a fine player. Like, despite all the hype, he was one of the better high school basketball athletes of his class. A solid defender, great on-ball defense, one of the better perimeter.
Look at them Kobe's.
And, like his dad, high-level basketball IQ and knowing his spots, knowing where to
he definitely has skill and talent. It's just, will it translate to the league, and can he make the league?
Ball spot-up shooter, and he's got good, decent range shooting it from deep, at least at the high school level. He's an unselfish player and shows great awareness on the court in getting guys involved. The main problem, though, is Bronny turns the ball over at a high rate because of his poor handles, and that's been exacerbated even further since playing at the collegiate level, where his offense and shooting have become even more inconsistent when you're seeing higher level defense. With heightened competition in the talent level at the NCAA, he's struggled more to drive through traffic and get clean looks in creating his own shot. Now, I don't want to minimize the medical incident and Bronny's overall health after sustaining cardiac arrest and practice.
I forgot about that.
Early on before the start of the season. That's incredibly scary.
He's a G League player. Nigga, I'm gonna be honest, bro. As long as LeBron's in the league, if that nigga's in the league, there's no fucking way in hell that he's in the G League, bro. Like, there's no way in hell that he's in the G League if he's an NBA level player. Like, if he can't make the league, then he just can't make the league. I just don't see him be like, if he's gonna be that close, he'll be on a real team, bro.
Having a congenital heart defect that he'll have to live with for the rest of his life. I have no doubt that has an impact on his overall game, his endurance, and stamina. And without a doubt, that is going to raise questions about the future of his career when having a heart defect being so young.
Should I send it? No, dude. What are you talking about?
His performance in college, knowing what he's gone through and missing a portion of the season and getting limited minutes as a result of it.
Look at Giannis' brother. Giannis' brother only has a job because of Giannis. He's one of the worst niggas ever.
Isn't very good, mind you. He really has been anything but short of underwhelming, averaging just 5.8 points per game in 20 minutes of play, shooting 35% from the floor, 27%.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Entity, but lock in.
61% from the free throw line.
If you're talking about Terraria, I've never played.
Aren't going to be as efficient from what you see in the NBA, but even by college player standards, this is well below average, and again, on a bad
good block team. Though.
It's not like this is one of the top teams in the country that is packed with talent, and there are too many options on offense for Bronny to really have a chance to crack the rotation. It's sad to say, but he's just not good enough. He's not good enough to really make a meaningful impact at the Division I collegiate level as a freshman. How are we supposed to believe that he's going to create an impact?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if Bronny comes out this year.
Bronny initially went from being projected in the early second round to the late first round in most mock draft boards in 2024 to now not even being projected to be drafted on all of the major mock draft boards from the media.
They took Bronny out the mock draft? Damn.
Mind you. But while most of these mock drafts have started leaving LeBron off their list to be drafted, it's almost a foregone conclusion that some team will be going after Bronny.
What up, Dante?
Into the second round or potentially pick
no, he definitely shouldn't be one and done, but he might be just because
occasions that he desires to play with his son. Whatever team Bronny goes to, that's where.
Imagine the Celtics draft Bronny, we get Bron, and then we repeat with Bron. Come on, we get Bron on the minimum. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Drew, go to the bench. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Bron, Porzingis. Movie.
LeBron will also be heading, who has a player option in the final year of his deal, which he will most likely decline and take the vet minimum to go play with his son. Unless, of course, the Lakers snag Bronny to be able to keep LeBron for one more year and try to run things back to see if they can go for one last title.
That not happening? Just wait. I just spoke to Brad Stevens. God has a plan for me.
He indicated that next season would be his last in the league, but he has said all he wants to do is to keep playing until his son joins the league. And because of the name,
bro, LeBron is not retiring
in the NBA, despite teams otherwise.
I'm be honest, this is not even hate. I don't want LeBron to like go out like Like, I don't want LeBron to keep playing to the point where he might get, like, a bad injury. You know, like, you don't want to see niggas go out like that. Bron should go out when he's still, like, that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, on his own terms, as opposed to, like, you know, Kobe with the Achilles and, you know, all that shit. Like, he should go out on, what I'm saying, like, when he's ready on his own time.
And a player of his skill set if it were any other college athlete. Someone like Bronny would need
LaMelo
to
is not going to the Spurs, nigga.
To develop in their
him and Grant Williams finna be a dynamic duo.
They really are NBA ready and can develop into a fine NBA player. The big question is it worth it for whatever team that does take a chance on drafting Bronny just so they can have a 40-year-old LeBron on their roster for one season? And knowing the kind of headlines, viewership that would come with it for the first ever father-son duo in the league. It would garner massive amounts of media attention.
Look, Bron can come off the bench, nigga. Tatum the star, though.
And one of them assists to the other for a score. It will be on the top of every media outlet's highlight reel. It would make any team, small market or big market, relevant.
Silence the
and
message.
A lot of
bro, I'm going to be honest. When I send a text that I think is risky or a text that makes me feel some type of way in my body, I just send a text and then I just put the phone face down and I walk away and I just, you know, I act like nothing's happening.
But all just for one season.
LeBron is a Spurs. No, LeBron's a Celtic, man.
Off into retirement, or at least finally starts to.
Isn't LeBron the oldest player in the league right now? Yes.
NBA, tying the record for most seasons played by a player in NBA history, by the way.
Hi.
He's the game of basketball, and then you have Bronny James, who will garner media attention as LeBron's son, but not an NBA caliber level player that likely won't make it to his next contract in the league. Is it worth using a draft pick on Bronny James, even if it's a second round?
Is it worth using I'm gonna be honest, bro. For the business, and if there's a guarantee you get LeBron, depending on the team, yes, it's worth it. Yes, it's worth it. 40-year-old LeBron's still better than a lot of niggas, man.
LeBron, some teams might say that's worth it, and I'm sure for the Lakers, who know their window to win.
I also don't think LeBron's actually gonna play with him. Honestly, I don't think LeBron's actually gonna play with him. Now, I could be wrong. Because I think as he gets older, he might be like, man, he might not want to play with me. I think he just wants to be in the league with him. Like, I think he just wants to be in the league with him. Because you got to think, bro, as Bronny gets older, like, LeBron might be like, man, like, he don't want to be on a team with Pops. He's not kicking it with him. And, you know, I don't want to be all on his dick while we on the road and shit. Like, would that be the first that played together? Together or in the league, it would be the first regardless. I think if Bronny gets drafted to the fucking Pelicans, LeBron's not going to up and just sign with the Pelicans. But he might. I don't know. I'm not inside his brain.
He just might do it to keep LeBron happy and within the organization and retire as a Laker. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think Bronny is an NBA-level talent or not? Which team?
Okay, whether he's, like I said, once again, whether he's a NBA-level talent or not remains to be seen. Whether he will play in the NBA, I'm about 95% confident that he'll play in the NBA. Because LiAngelo Ball got into the NBA. So, did LiAngelo Ball ever play a real NBA game, or did he just play G League in preseason? I don't know if LiAngelo ever played a real game, but if Thanasis has a job, I think LeBron has enough pull to give Bronny a job, to be completely honest, man. I can't lie to you.